Hey, this is Jen from JenniferDeSouza.com. Welcome to day one. I am doing a 5-part series on how to brand yourself on social media. So today is day one. I want to tell you a little bit about what to expect and what I'm going to cover in these next 5 days. Basically, I'm going to show you how to use social media not just to spam and blast your product all over everywhere, but to really use it strategically to meet new people, build relationships, and out of those new relationships, you're going to turn those into sales, into hostesses. If you do party plan, you're going to turn them into customers, and you're going to turn them into team members, people that are going to want to join you in business. Okay, but in order to get that, it's called the know, like, trust factor. People have to first know you exist, then they have to decide they like you. And then if they like you, then they're going to decide if they trust you. And in trust is when people start buying from you or joining your team. Okay, so that's what I'm going to teach you how to do over these next few days, how to really stand out from the crowd, stand out from everybody else. There are millions and millions of people out there on Facebook slinging some kind of product, right? What is going to make you different? What's going to make you stand out? That's what we're going to learn over these next 5 days, okay? A little bit about me before I get started. I was actually introduced to network marketing like 9 years ago now. It was 2008. It was right before I got married. It was summertime. I worked in an office in Manhattan. I worked for a real estate developer. It was summertime. My boss's girlfriend came to our office lunchtime during the summer. It was really slow, and she did a presentation for her network marketing company she had just joined. And, you know, it was amazing products. We all love the products, but what blew my mind was the network marketing opportunity. This was something that I had always wanted to be my own business owner. I'd always fantasized about having some kind of like storefront, some kind of store, something that was mine. My dad's an actor, and so he always like had to come up with kind of creative side income that gave him the freedom to still go on auditions and do shows and travel when he needed to. And then my grandma and my aunts, they owned a cake shop, and I just used to love hanging out in there, and I loved that it was theirs. And so I always kind of fantasized about being a business owner, but I never had like the money it takes to get started. And so when I was introduced to network marketing, I was like, yeah, this is my future. This is for me. Well, and lo and behold, so that was in probably like June of 2008. I got married in August. I came back from getting married, and ta-da, the market crashed. And I was laid off along with, I don't even know how many people lost their job in 2008, like thousands of people. There were hundreds just from my company alone. So kind of in the same ballpark as everybody else, right? Got laid off. And it was at that point that I realized, you know what? I never want to go through that again. I never want to put my blood, sweat, and tears into building somebody else's business just to get laid off, just to get cast aside. Just, you know, it was like I spent all that time trying to prove myself, working my ass off, putting in overtime, like just kissing ass as much as I could because I wanted to climb the ladder. I wanted to promote. I wanted a raise, I wanted a promotion, I wanted, to move up the ranks, and then just to get cast aside at the end of the day when they needed to tighten the budget because credit lines were drying up. I realized I never want to be in that position again. Like if I work my ass off, I want it to be for me. And so that's why I've been in some form of direct sales network marketing ever since. My last company I've been with for about 4.5 years, built a pretty successful business face-to-face. I did party plan. So I did a lot of, obviously parties. I did a lot of local events, where I'd get a table and meet people that way in my community. I did a lot of networking events and built a good size team and a good size business. I was a top leader in the company. And then about a year ago, my family moved. We decided we needed to get out of the craziness of Southern California. We moved up here to a relatively small town in Colorado. And it's not even that this town's so small, but it's like, it's a town and then it's surrounded by farmland. Like, it's not like Southern California at all. There's not anywhere near that amount of people or events going on or things to plug into at all. And besides that, I didn't have any childcare. I didn't have anybody to kind of help me watch the kids while I got out and hustled and went to networking events and, went business to business to talk to people. I didn't have anybody to help me. And I realized really quickly I needed to get my business online. And if you think about it, I mean, there's like 1.6 billion people on Facebook. And the last statistic I read said 1 billion of them check their status daily. So like 2/3 of the people that are on Facebook are on Facebook every day. It's kind of like online dating, right? Like, if you have a job and you're only in proximity to a few people a day, it's really hard to meet somebody. But if you get online, like, the world opens up, right? There's a ton of people. There's a ton of people out there. It's just, how do you make those connections? How do you find them? And when you're just depending on who's in your circle or who's in your town, you start to run out of options pretty quickly. And that's what most of us do, right? We join a business, we go and we talk to all our friends and family, maybe we do some local events, but we kind of run out of people, right? Because we're so limited in our proximity. Social media is the only way to get beyond that, right? Social media is the way to reach out and connect with people all over your state, your country, the world. The company that I recently joined, my upline is in the Czech Republic. Like, we made friends and connected from around the world, okay? And her upline's in Florida. So you can reach out and make connections and find people anywhere. So if you're like in a small town or you've just gone through your friends and family and neighbors and you're like, nobody in my neighborhood, nobody in my town is interested in XYZ. When you open that up to the 1.6 billion people that are on Facebook, you've got a much bigger audience, right? Because the people in your town might not be interested in what you've got to sell. But there are people that want it. You wanted it. You fell in love with it, right? There are other people like you. You just have to find them, and social media is the way to do that. Okay, so that's about me. Oh, so I realized I needed to learn how to run a business online. And at first I did a lot of the same things that everybody else is doing. I just, posted pictures, here's our special, tried to do Facebook parties, all of that stuff without any kind of understanding about branding. And, really got no hits, had no success, was just spinning my wheels, was just posting stuff for like no reason, right? Then I started researching what people that are successful online are doing. I started learning and I signed up for courses. I became an affiliate for like the top online marketing training program. Like, I went out and I found people that were doing it, that were successful online, that were marketing online, were marketing correctly, and just started studying them. I signed up for their newsletters. I signed up, on their email list. I read their blogs. I watched their videos. I started researching, how are people doing this online? And so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. Okay. So today we're starting with branding. Why do you need to brand yourself? First off, we already said there's like 1.6 billion people on Facebook, right? Your challenge is to get their attention, right? In a world where there are literally millions of people trying to sell those same people, trying to sell them stuff every single day, right? Everybody everybody that's online is bombarded with stuff to buy, right? People trying to sell them stuff every day, constantly. What is going to make them decide to buy from you? That's where you have to start branding yourself. even with your company. Like right now, that Lip Sense, that lip gloss, like that's like the new hot thing, right? I scroll through my feed and I see the same pictures of people wearing lip gloss over and over and over and over and over again. The same people posting the same pictures. What is going to make this person stand out versus this person if everybody's doing the same thing and posting the same thing? You got to start branding yourself, because here's the harsh truth, you guys. You don't own your company. You don't own your company. I know you love your company. I know you're loyal to your company, but you don't own it. So what happens if they have to close? What happens if you decide it's not right for you anymore? What happens if you decide there's another opportunity that you want to do in addition to it? Right? There's so many things that you need to think about when you're branding yourself, okay? Got to brand yourself, not the company. Here's another thing to think about. When you're branding a product, say I sell coffee mugs. Aren't we cute? Look at these little stinkers. He's almost 8 and he's going to turn 5 in a couple weeks. I sell coffee mugs. And all I do is focus on the coffee mug, Look how great my coffee mugs are. Don't you want to buy these coffee mugs? I have done nothing to build a relationship with you, right? So if you want to buy my coffee mug, you don't really have any reason to buy the coffee mug from me, right? There's no loyalty there. You're not trusting in what I say. You're just like, oh, look, that's a cute coffee mug. Maybe you have another friend that sells it. Maybe you go find somebody that's close to you. Like you saw me on social media, but I'm states away. So you go find a rep close to you. Maybe you go to Amazon or something and look for something similar there. When you are only sharing and focusing on a product, there's absolutely no loyalty to you as a person, right? No, they don't care about you. They only care about the product because that's all you've put in their face. All right. So they might buy, but they're not buying from you. And what's worse is if they're like, oh, that's cute, I want to sell those. And they want to join the company, they want to join the opportunity. Again, they have no loyalty to you. So they're not going to join you. They're going to go find somebody who's close to them. They're going to go find another friend that sells it. They're going to go straight to the company who's going to give them to the closest rep in their area. You have the loyalty and the connection has to be with you, not with the product. The product is secondary. I know you love your product. I know you love your company, and I know it's safe and comfortable to promote those. But the only way you're going to stand out and the only way you're going to start getting those sales, getting people wanting to book parties with you, if you do parties, wanting to join your team, wanting to follow you, is if you are making a connection with them, not a product. Okay, does that make sense? The other thing is people want to buy from a person. Like, I could go anywhere to buy lip gloss, but if I have like a really fun friend who she's just so adorable and she's sharing her lip gloss, she's making me laugh, I love her, I love her family, I love her kids, guess what? I'm going to buy from her. I'm not going to go to Target. I'm not going to go to Macy's. I'm not going to buy from somebody else. I'm going to buy from my friend because I love her, right? And because I want to support her. I care about her. I'm happy for her business. I want to support her. People want to buy from people, okay? But if you don't give them a person to connect with and you're just showing a product, they're going to go to Target. They're going to go to Amazon. They're going to go to their other friend who they feel more of a personal connection with, okay? People want to buy from people. See, I said that already. Okay. The other thing is, I covered this a little bit, but when you set yourself up as an authority, when you're doing live videos, you're sharing value, you're you're putting yourself as like the go-to person, because that's what you want to be. Like if you have a health and wellness product, you want to be the health and wellness girl, right? If you have a beauty product, you want to be the beauty girl, right? You want to be the skincare girl. You want to be known as kind of the go-to. Oh my gosh, it's thunder's starting outside. If you can hear that. You want to become that go-to person, right? You want to set yourself up as an authority. You want to share your successes. You want the world to know that you're serious and that you know what you're doing. Because the biggest thing is, besides wanting to buy from you, you want people to join you, right? You want them to follow you. You want them to interact with you. You want them to want to join you. You want them to join your team. I can't tell you how often people have come to me and joined my team because they met somebody at a fair. They thought the product was really cool. And then they lost the person's card, or they just, for whatever reason, they went looking for an authority figure to join. Like when people want to join, or they're ready, like when they're ready to take action, you want to position yourself so that when they come looking, you're who they're going to find. Okay? Because some people like you've already connected with, and so they're going to come to you. But what about those people you don't know? They heard about your company or your opportunity or your products somewhere else, right? They were at a fair, they were at a party, they were wherever. And they decide, you know what? That's what I want to do. They come looking for an authority figure. And that's probably the most important reason to situate yourself and set yourself apart as an authority figure. Because when people come looking, and there are people looking right now there are people looking for your business and your products. Are they going to find you? Or are they going to find somebody else? Position yourself. Branding yourself is positioning yourself so that they come find you, right? There's millions of reps out there. In your company, there's probably hundreds or thousands of reps, right? What's going to make you different? What's going to make people come to you versus anybody else? All right? Those are things to think about. All right. So in branding, just to clarify something really quickly, branding isn't about a logo, a font, certain colors, the perfect picture. Like that's all stuff you can work out later, but that's not important. And that's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about branding. Okay. When I'm talking about branding, I'm talking about putting you forward. Like you are your brand. So the first thing you have to do when you start looking at branding yourself is figure out, who the hell are you? Who are you? Are you funny? Are you fun? Are you a mom? Are you a grandma? Do you love to water ski? Do you have all these guilty pleasures like watching The Bachelor? Like, who are you? What have you experienced? What are your accomplishments? What challenges have you been presented with in your life? And how have you overcome them? How have you dealt with them? How have you grown and learned from those experiences? What are the things that absolutely drive you crazy? What are the things that bring you absolute joy? What are the things that motivate you and inspire you? And what do you love? And all that stuff, that is you. That is your brand. And that is so special because it is as unique as you are. There is nothing generic about you, right? You are so unique and so special. And that's your brand. That's what people are going to connect with. They're going to connect with, your funny mishaps with your kids. They're going to connect with your love of travel or your love of bowling or your love of old school hip hop. They're going to laugh and want to interact with you when, you admit that you watch The Bachelorette, which maybe I keep bringing up because I do. You are your brand and you are totally unique. And the more you share that, and not just the pretty stuff, right? The more you share from just genuine authenticity, The good, the bad, the ugly, the struggles, the triumphs, the failures, the lessons learned, the growth, all that stuff is what's going to make you, it's what's going to make people connect with you, going to make people like you and fall in love with you and want to hear more from you and be interested and curious with like what you're doing, what you're into, what you're watching, what you're eating, where you're going with your kids, the products you sell, why you love them. Why is this a great opportunity? What drew you to that? Oh, really? Well, maybe, if you're doing this and I connect with you so much and you're having some success, I think I want to follow you in this. But it's about building relationships, branding. Everything I'm going to talk about in this 5-week series, everything I'm going to talk about comes down to building relationships. And it all starts with branding. It all starts with branding. You've got to be honest and genuine and real. And that's what's going to make people feel like they know you and they like you and they trust you. And they're going to want to buy what you have. They're going to want to host a party for you. They're going to want to join you in business. It all starts with branding. So get a pen and paper. Start writing down who you are. Who are you? What attributes do you have? What experiences have you had? What failures have you had? What accomplishments have you had? Are you a mom? Are you a grandma? Like, who are you? What do you value? What's important to you? What are you passionate about? How do you want to help people? Write down all that stuff because that's all your brand. That's your brand. That's who you are. And as you move forward, you're going to share that with the world. That's your brand. It's not about fonts. It's not about pretty pictures. It's not about, standing in front of a fancy car, or a fancy house, or looking like life's always peachy. People aren't going to connect to that. People are going to connect with you, with your struggles, your reality, your sense of humor. Okay? So that's the end of day 1. Take some time. Take time with this. Write down everything about who you are. That's your brand. That's where we're starting. Okay? Not about a product. It's not about a product. People don't care about your product until they care about you. Okay? This is all about building relationships, and this is the first step. All right. You excited? You got that? If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Please email me, comment on my Facebook page, message me on Facebook. Please share. If you had any ahas during this, please share. I would love to hear from you. If you're totally confused and you're like, Jen, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, tell me that too, okay? Because I'm here to help you. I am here to help you. All right. It's been a big learning process for me, and I want to shave some of that time off for you and help you get right to success, help you avoid some of those mistakes I made and get right into building relationships and turning those relationships into money. Okay. So go do that. Take some time. Think about who you are, and I'll see you tomorrow.